the major developments in a crash that created so you're taking a live look at the scene there. That is the 18-wheeler involved in this fatal crash.
Fatal crash involving a motorcycle.
He crashed into a concrete barrier.
Deadly multi-car crash overnight.
Deadly crash.
A series of crashes this morning.
I-45.
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 There have been 11 such crashes along I-45.
Interstate 45 is one of the deadliest highways in America. It's Texas's key artery, running from Dallas all the way down to the island city of Galveston. With more than 100 people losing their lives here in 2023, it's one of the highest death per kilometre highways in all of the United States.
Now, of all times, it's like a death trap.
And the state's decided that enough is enough.
Hey, there ain't no place in Texas, baby.
They're spending $13 billion to expand, reroute and upgrade a huge section in Houston.
What the hell's wrong with freedom, man? That's what it's all about.
But with I-45 penned in on both sides by residential neighbourhoods, not everyone is happy about the news.
Texas needs to fix the ageing interstate, but beyond that hefty multi-billion-dollar bill, what price will the people of Houston really be paying? Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here, and the best place to start is honestly with why the I-45 needs an expansion and why it's happening in Houston. So we've already mentioned the fatalities along the route, but there's another reason why the work is happening now.
Houston sits just 40 metres above sea level. Its topography is pretty flat, and it sits on soft, clay-based soil. When you consider that, a picture starts to emerge. The city's rapid urban development has seen absorbent land built on using notoriously non-absorbent materials like concrete. Basically, what I'm getting at is that Houston really doesn't drain very well, and that's a big problem. Because of its close proximity to the Gulf of Mexico, Houston's climate is humid and subtropical, and that means rainy seasons. Mix heavy rain with poor drainage, and you've got a recipe for disaster.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bill Barajas. Storms quickly rolled through Houston this afternoon, leading to some heavy flooding. Right here you can see a truck almost fully submerged at Woodridge and the Gulf Freeway.
The highway faces frequent closures and major disruption after heavy rains. Paired with the fact that every few years Texas faces a hurricane, it becomes clear that I-45 just isn't up to the task. The infrastructure is aging, but worryingly, the Texas Department of Transportation, or TxDOT, has said portions of the highway don't even meet current roadway design standards, and given its limitations, it isn't able to operate as an evacuation route during a hurricane.
Back in 1952, the first section opened. It was called the Gulf Freeway and it connected Houston over to Galveston. Then, by the 1970s, the full plan for the I-45 was unveiled, offering a north-to-south corridor, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
The oil boom of the 70s saw Texas completely transform. The state's economy exploded as people moved to the area to take advantage of a swathe of new jobs. And those people obviously needed somewhere to live. As the largest US city without formal zoning restrictions, development in Houston soared. A vast array of residential areas were constructed along the newly connected I-45 and further afield, contributing to this rapidly expanding urban sprawl. Texas was taking off. The problem is that when a city grows this quickly, its infrastructure rarely keeps up. 50 years later, commuters heading in from the suburbs, city dwellers and visitors passing through the state now combine in a chaotic swirl on I-45.
And demand is not about to decrease anytime soon. TxDOT predicts that traffic will increase by as much as 40% along the I-45 Northern Corridor by 2040. And it has to be said that a big part of the challenge here is America's long and enduring love affair with the car.
The interstate highway system is regularly referred to as the greatest public works project in American history. Stretching far and wide across deserts and forests, through mountains and cities, America has built more than 48,000 miles of highway, and it changed the country forever. Travel, trade, and job opportunities opened up on a scale never seen before. America's marriage with cars and roads grew in strength, and cities were developed to prioritise motor vehicles. Unless you live in the centre of a city, you almost have to own a car to get around in the US. Your pharmacy, gym, supermarket, your house, they're all spread out, connected by highways rather than public transport. In fact, when the Gulf Freeway was built, it replaced an existing electric train line between Galveston and Houston.
The Texas Department of Transportation should be investing in transportation and not highways. There's like a joke that we say like Texas Department of Highways, like not Texas Department of Transportation, because that's all that they do.
Now people are campaigning for a return to rail.
We want trains, not more lanes. We want trains, not more lanes.
As you might have guessed, some residents are incredibly frustrated.
So it just doesn't make sense that a place as big as Texas doesn't have public transportation. You see other places, I go to DC a lot, it has a better transportation system. It's doable there. People will say, no, Houston's too big, but there's people that have traveled to London and they say it's doable in London, so why isn't it doable in Houston?
Earlier this year, you might have seen this.
The federal government is cutting a multi-million-dollar grant for a high-speed train that would have connected Houston and Dallas.
The federal government labelled it a waste of taxpayer funds. And while some US states are slowly removing sections of their highway, Texas has doubled down with the expansion of the I-45. This is what the project map looks like. The plan is to reconstruct I-45 north between downtown and Houston and Beltway 8, an 88-mile toll road that loops around the city. That should expand roadway capacity, reduce congestion, improve safety, and enhance mobility. To achieve the vision, the $13 billion project is split into 3 segments, each with multiple phases. Work has already started on segment 3, so let's focus our attention there. The overall goal is to reconstruct the downtown Houston freeway loop system, aligning highways and improving storm drainage. Along St. Emmanuel Street, east of downtown, and right next to the interstates, storm drainage construction is well underway. The process involves excavation next to the pavement to insert water and sewer pipes. Once that's filled in, a second larger hole is dug out in the roadway to place huge concrete boxes down known as culverts. Their job is to channel water away from the streets and highways during heavy rainfall and down into an under construction detention pond over here. And while digging up a street is pretty disruptive, it's just the tip of the iceberg. This project is an opportunity to expand lanes to monumental proportions, and that's what's happening to this section of I-69. It's the first piece of interstate to be widened to accommodate future traffic demand. Now, it took us a second to probably get our heads around what's due to come, but it's planned to look a little something like this. I-45 is being completely rerouted. Originally located here in the west of downtown, this section is going to be moved to the east of the area to align with I-69 and I-10. The aim is to streamline traffic flow and cut down congestion in doing so, offering a safer evacuation route during storms. These sections here, here and here are going to be removed, and this will lose its interstate status and become a parkway, which is a landscape section of highway. But that causes a domino effect. With the reconfiguration of I-45, the east-west I-10 is going to be reconstructed in sections so that it better aligns with the new layout, aiding towards this streamlined goal. An I-10 interchange will then be constructed here, along with another interchange for the meeting point of I-45, I-10 and I-69 over here. And by the way, it's reported that these reconstructed highways could be up to a massive 20 lanes wide to accommodate the crazy number of cars set to flow through here in the coming years. Segment 2 is going to handle the stretch from the Segment 3 upgrades up through the I-610 loop, offering a wider connection point through Northside and downtown Houston. Lanes are going to be added to I-45 and a roadway cap's being considered for main lines to be lowered below ground level. Further detention ponds are going to be dug out, and existing culverts are going to be replaced with bridges to really improve drainage and lessen flooding on the highways. Segment 1 will then tackle the section of I-45 that connects with Segment 2 and Beltway 8. It'll widen the highway to add more lanes, connections, a new overpass at Bluebell Road, add yet more detention ponds, and widen the bridges over Hallsbayou Waterway.
Now, to add to the complexity of what's already a very chaotic looking map, none of this work is taking place on empty sites. This isn't like a green field that's just waiting for development. There are entire neighbourhoods and communities sitting here. And right from the very first murmurings of this highway project, pockets of Houston have been anxious.
This project was clearly racist. Definitely going through Black and brown communities, going directly through the heart of historic Fifth Ward, going through near North Side, going through the north side of Houston, and intentionally displacing Black and brown people.
We know about the success of the interstate highway system, but the solely positive narrative is beginning to turn. These roadways were truly game-changing. But historically, some highways were used as a way of segregating areas. Researchers uncovered evidence suggesting clear government intent to route highways through low-income and minority neighbourhoods.
They think that they might be able to get away with this because it is disenfranchised and underserved communities that people won't listen to. And I've had experiences where there has been community members that speak Spanish that have no idea that this is happening or that their homes are going to be lost.
So let's put this into perspective. Hundreds of businesses, thousands of homes, schools, places of worship, parkland, all of it is going to disappear. People's lives are going to be changed forever. And the question that Stop TxDOT are asking is, why is this project happening at all? In other parts of the US, highways are being stripped back and there's an increased focus on public transport.
Now, we reached out to TxDOT for a response regarding the project, and the department has strongly denied claims of racism or targeted construction work. A statement shared with the B1M by TxDOT said the area is projected to see an 80% growth in population by 2050, and I-45 is already home to 9 of the top 25 most congested roadways in Texas. This project will give Houston $43 billion in economic development, reduce travel times and environmental benefits while enhancing mobility and safety. TxDOT has documented a commitment to fund $30 million in direct financial assistance to the affected neighbourhoods to support specific affordable housing initiatives. The department says this commitment is over and above and completely separate from the benefits and assistance TxDOT must provide to residents who have been or will be displaced. The statement ends by saying the department is deeply committed to fostering open dialogue and ensuring accessibility to information regarding important infrastructure projects like the NHHIP. These sessions covered information on all 3 segments of the project, reflecting a commitment to comprehensive community involvement. So what happens next? Well, work on Segment 3 continues while public consultation goes on in the background. Once funding's agreed, Segment 2 is planned to start work in 2028, and Segment 1 is going to follow in 2032. But Stephanie isn't losing hope for an altered plan.
For segment 1 and 2, they're still working on a lot of the funding side. Until we get to that point, there is so much that can happen. Every time that TxDOT has a meeting, we're there. We make sure that the community that's being affected knows that this is happening. We do our rounds, we go door knocking, we have events, and the fight continues.
This project shows once again just how difficult it can be to build major infrastructure in the United States. It's rarely as simple as getting each stakeholder in a room to thrash out a discussion, emerging hours later with a plan that everyone can get behind. Each party seems to have their own version of what's important, and it feels like those realities rarely align. At the heart of this bumpy chapter in America's transit journey are construction projects. But the wider issues go a whole lot deeper.
Don't forget that we're inspiring the next generation of builders through our investment into BrickBorrow, a fantastic LEGO subscription service. You can learn more and get started today over at brickborrow.com. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to get more from the definitive video channel for construction, make sure you're subscribed to the B1M.